We at Distinctive People have been celebrating our 10-year anniversary, and 23rd of October 2015 marks the exact date when the business began its journey. So today I'm delighted to be speaking to Mark Glimwood and Denise Kirkham, the founders and partners of Distinctive People, to find out more about their unique approach. So welcome, Mark and Denise. I'm delighted to be speaking with you both today. And I think it's appropriate that we just go right back to the beginning, where it all began. So, 10 years ago, you started the business, and I'm really curious to know, why did you call it Distinctive People?
Thanks very much, Penny. So, why Distinctive People? As you would expect, we had a lot of conversations about this. I think it's fair to say that we did want something that set us apart from other consultancies and other organisations. If you look at the dictionary definition of distinctive, one of the definitions is about having a quality or a characteristic that makes something different to others. So that kind of felt like it described what we were setting out to do. So I think it reflected our approach to clients, but it also, I think, reflects the difference that we both bring. So both Mark and I have very different approaches. We have different specialisms. So there's something kind of distinctive, if you like, about us as there is about everybody. But it also, we very much see each client that we work with as distinctive as well. So one of our overriding aims was that to really not be an organisation that produced something off the shelf. There's no kind of off the shelf training. The reward solutions that we do are all very tailored. We're not putting forward the same old names in recruitment, if you like, and we try to vary our approaches. So, having kind of looked at a number of different words and titles, that was the one that stuck, if you like. What do you reckon, Mark?
Well, I'd like to start off by saying that I think it's important to acknowledge that Denise came up with the name. So it was Denise's innovation that came up with Distinctive People. And as she said, it took us some time to get to a name because we did actually give it a lot of thought. And without, repeating, some of the things that Denise has shared there, I think one of the key things was about our philosophy. We set up a business with a very clear purpose, both a personal purpose and a business purpose. And the personal purpose was that we didn't want to do what we'd done previously, which often was through working for other people, of which, we quite rightly had to work within their philosophy, their values, their culture. And we were quite clear about what we didn't want to do and reasonably clear about what we did want to do. And I guess one of the things over and above being very distinctive about the energy and the input that we put into how we develop client relations is about solutions to people management problems. We'd probably worked with too many people in the past that were process orientated, traditional thinking, regulators, people who were often obsessed by compliance without looking at ways in which you could actually deliver a great offer, not just to your organizational colleague base, but how that then impacts on whatever service that you as a business are seeking to deliver. So we wanted to experiment. We wanted to be curious. We wanted to push boundaries. We wanted to make mistakes in order that we could learn and develop. And I guess when we came down to debating the various names that were on the table, and don't ask me what were the other ones because I can't remember now, but Distinctive People seemed to meet all of the bullet points that we identified as what we wanted this business to be about.
Thank you both. Sounds like it's just unleashed all your sort of imagination and freedom. So what, looking back, and over 10 years, which is quite a significant period, what would you say are some of the proudest moments?
Well, I think the easy thing to say in response to that question would be to try and go through historically all the various projects that we worked through over that 10 years. And they're in the absolute hundreds, probably something between 500 to 700 different initiatives and projects that we've been involved in during that period of time. But that's our bread and butter, really. And in truth, there are lots of consultancies, a lot of talented people, management people and leaders out there who've got similar, but different track records that they could sell. So for me, the thing that I think links back perhaps to the previous question that I'm most proud of is absolute focus towards our clients, 100%. So we go beyond what is reasonably reasonable. And I say that because it's important to us. You know, we look at it from, or certainly I look at it from the same way as I purchase services from people. I'm looking for expertise, I'm looking for speed, I'm looking for quality. That, I think, in most of the projects that we've been involved in, has been achieved, and that's what I'm most proud of. And I test that by asking myself, am I deluded, or is there any fact to that? And I think the evidence that there is of that, we don't do any marketing of any real sorts. We don't do any promotion of any real sorts. All of our work comes through repeat business or word of mouth. So I think that's the proudest. And the second point, I think, is the team of people that we've assembled over that period of time. Often Denise and I are seen as the focal point of the business, but we've got a talented group of professionals that we work with alongside, and they're not there by accident. They're there because they've got the same values, they've got the same or similar philosophy in terms of people management, and they're experts in their field. So they would be the two things that immediately come to mind.
Thank you, Mark. Is there anything you would like to add to that, Denise?
Yeah, when I was thinking about this, I think this was probably my longest list, actually, and then I thought, oh, is that a bit self-indulgent? But do you know what? That's what this is about, isn't it? So, I mean, for me, I guess the starting point, and it builds on what Mark has said, is growing the business more than we could have imagined when we set off. So that I do genuinely feel really proud about that. And most importantly, I think that we, and this was referenced from some of the consultant videos that we ran with a couple of weeks ago, that we've done that whilst maintaining our values and maintaining the kind of guidelines, if you like, that we set for ourselves in terms of the way that we would work. You know, we have, not often, but we have on occasions decided and refused the opportunity to pitch for work because it just didn't feel right for whatever reason. So we really did go into this with values at the forefront, and we have managed to maintain that. And I think the other thing is that we have constantly pushed ourselves to look at things differently. I think that's something that we do almost automatically now between ourselves. So we will challenge each other in terms of, are we just doing same old here, or are we really looking at things differently? And I think one of the things that, when I was thinking about it, one of the things that really brought that to the fore was thinking about the partnerships that we've built over the years. And probably a couple of the most successful have been firstly with Willow, that again we had an interview with the leader at Willow a few weeks ago, and when we started working with Willow, who do our recruitment videos, they were brand new, they were a startup, and they'd got a product that wasn't big in the marketplace or not. And we were there, as we always say to each other, we were there at the beginning with them. And it was the same with working with the Matthew Syed consultancy, the team that we use, Mindset Advantage, that was brand new. It had literally just been authorised by the BPS. And we were again one of the first in the country to become partners with them. So that whole kind of doing things a bit differently and not always going down the tried and tested route. It's not always easy, but I'm really proud that we do that and we keep doing that.
Thank you both. Again, it sounds like you have quite a pioneering role, within your business. So, given all of that, what would you say have been some of your biggest challenges? Denise, do you want to comment on those?
I guess one of them comes back to what I've just been saying about constantly pushing things. So we do that by nature, but it's not always easy. It can, you have to be prepared. I think Mark mentioned this in his first response. You have to be prepared to fail sometimes. But sometimes trying things out and them not working, that's challenging. So I do find that challenging sometimes. I think keeping all the plates spinning as well is challenging. We cover the whole country, and so right across the UK, Ireland. We've worked also in Europe. So just keeping everything spinning with lots of different types of organisations, that can be challenging on occasions, and it needs a lot of organisation. So I guess those are probably for me the biggest challenges. Mark's will probably be different to mine because we do look at things differently.
Well, I think there are lots of challenges. There's practical challenges about resourcing. We do operate across a wide geographical area, across different sectors. We never say no to a project, and therefore we have to make sure that our resources are in the right place at the right time. And going back to an earlier answer, we do that in the knowledge that every client needs to get the same level of quality, speed and expertise. So that's a challenge. But more fundamentally, I think the challenge is more a personal challenge. It's about continually challenging your own thinking and making sure that you link back to the reasons as to why we're called distinctive people. Because the great thing about the work that we do is there's always a solution, and normally there's a myriad of different options to select. Some of them are easy, convenient and comfortable. Some of them are more difficult, risky, but impactful. And I guess the biggest challenge, is when you work with a client for the first time and the client is perhaps somebody who has a very clear view about what they want to achieve and how they want to achieve it. But that based on what they say the issue and the problem is, it's unlikely to get them to where they need to get to. So how do you develop what you want to in terms of a long enduring relationship, but do what they're paying you to do, which is in effect challenge, widen their mindset and open them up to a different set of opportunities. And that is a challenge, because some people receive that excellently and other people say, they don't quite say this, but the subtext is just get on and deliver what we want. And that's a challenge about how you balance that from a professional point of view.
Thank you. Yes, that does sound challenging, walking that tightrope there. So, we've reflected on, what's happened in the last 10 years. What are some of your hopes and aspirations for the future with distinctive people? Mark, do you want to lead on that one?
I think the business will change in the same way as it's changed year on year. I think I would concentrate my answer more on about initiatives and outcomes. I think, which we're already seeing, that the organisations and leaders are changing their approach to the way in which they see people management, leadership, organization development. I think probably for the first time for a long while, there's much more of a recognition around it is actually important. It's a big resource. And if we want to deliver fantastic services to our customer base in whatever sector that is, or certainly the sectors that we work in, primarily that's around people delivery. But it's going to become more complicated and is becoming more complicated because of the innovation through technology and how that will change job design, organizational culture, and skill sets needs for the future. So I think, although we've primarily over that 10 years been 85% strategic in the projects that we've been working with, I think that will increase further. I think our value will be much more about the psychological well-being of organizations as opposed to just individuals, how organizations connect their people services to their client base, challenging the same old way of recruiting people, which sometimes delivers fantastic talent, but more often than not, lets a lot of talent slip away and go into more innovative work environments. Reward management, I think it's going to be revolutionized in terms of what people value in the workplace. You know, we've known for the last 5 or 10 years, people value time as much as they do money. So probably the old dated job evaluation and quite lazy approaches to pay equality are going to go out the window, and we're going to find more enriched ways of working with organizations to develop that. You could probably do a whole podcast on it, but I guess what I'm trying to sort of convey through my response is it's not going to look like it did for the last 10 years, that's for sure.
Thank you.
I agree completely, and I think I mean, there's not much I can add to that, but just kind of thinking about some specifics. I think continuing to progress and build on partnerships, working in partnership, we get you know, for an organisation like ours, where we're constantly looking to kind of be the difference and to bring the difference, if you like, then that working in partnership with others and being open to other organisations and ideas is really important. So I'm really looking forward to building on that side of things. And then personally, because I lead on the recruitment side of things, looking at how we can harness the benefits of AI, but keep a really personalized approach, like we do, is really, really important. So, yeah, those are the things I'm most looking forward to.
Thank you very much, Denise and Mark. And thank you, listeners. On behalf of all our listeners, I'd just like to say a big thank you for sharing your insights, your memories of the last 10 years, your hopes and aspirations for the future. You know, congratulations, I think, on behalf of your clients and your team, you know, for setting up the business and for your amazing journey and growth, and you know, wishing you all the very best for the future. So
thank you
well
very
done,
much,
and
Penny. Thank you. It's been great talking with you.